Cam Newton is still a hot topic around the NFL, and of course a hot topic, of course, radio shows, morning TV, NFL.com, because the reigning MVP, as seen from his last matchup against the Atlanta Falcons, went under the concussion protocol after taking yet another insane amount of hits to the body. And to the head, technically. Let's get right into what Shannon Sharpe had to say from Colin Cowherd's morning show, titled The Herd. A quick 30 seconds. Here's an audio bit from it. You can hear the full thing over at The Herd with Colin Cowherd, iHeartRadio, many other forms, Fox Sports 1.
If I get a chance to take a shot, a clean, legitimate shot on Cam Newton as a defender, I'm selling out. They see him on the sideline flossing his teeth. Come on, Colin. I mean, you're being openly disrespectful in a game of football, in a collision sport like this. You're on the sideline. You're so casual. You're so cavalier. Like, man, I'm flossing my teeth.
So you think players, those optics are bad?
Absolutely. And if I can get a chance to get a clean, solid lick on your quarterback, I'm taking it. I'm taking it. I got to.
I can't tell you how important the context is of that. Because no, he is not saying if I could lower my head into the head of Cam Newton, I would. He's saying a clean, legitimate shot. A Lawrence Taylor-esque legitimate shot. A Ray Lewis, might have been the cleanest guy, legitimate shot. A Richard Sherman legitimate shot on Cam Newton. Because what frustrates me is when I see, is Shannon Sharpe saying target Cam in the head? No, he's really not. Why is it that this year we start hearing more of targeting Cam Newton cleanly or targeting Cam Newton altogether, opposed to last year? Last year they're 15-1. This year they're 1-3.
So Jay, I remember we had a very similar clip before the NFL season started. I can't remember what it was on, but I literally said, my words were, Cam Newton's going to have an even bigger target on his back this year. And that wasn't just from the media.
We did say that.
I remember that. And it's not because of the way that he carried himself last year, right? He was phenomenal last year. He changed the game for quarterbacks. If you think this guy didn't change the way quarterbacks play, then you've not been watching the game as long as you maybe think. I'm not talking about just the way that he actually plays the game. I'm talking about the way he holds himself, like the dancing, the celebrating, Sure. When you look at him as a quarterback, built like some sort of running back, like 6'6", you were telling me this morning.
Big guy.
So he can change his game plan no matter what. He's one of the most unpredictable players to play against because if you're trying to cut him out for throwing, he can throw the ball no problem, but then he can run. And the ability that he has to get to the end zone and dance all over your team is one of the most threatening of any player in the league. So what happens is in the past when you have had quarterbacks who would often run into the end zone, you wouldn't see them celebrate as much, right?
Because a lot of the time they'd hand the ball off. They hand the ball off
because it's not part of their game plan. Most of the time, quarterbacks, they can run. You get Russell Wilson, who in recent terms can run, undoubtedly so. Okay. But what happens is when they're looking to throw the ball into the end zone, it's often a receiver, a running back, who's expected to go in and do the touchdowns. Those are the guys that are focused on. Now you have defensive lineups shaping the try, and they're worried about Cam Newton because at any point, he can run. And if he gets into your end zone and he's there, it's the added incentive that this guy is going to dance and make fun of me because he was able to get into the end zone without resorting in throwing the ball and relying on someone else. Okay,
so you're correct in terms of the way that he's celebrating more than we've seen anybody in his position. Quarter. We've seen Terrell Owens celebrate louder and more obnoxiously, according to some, than any other wide receiver in the game. Right? We've seen that before, but not really from the quarterback position. Tom Brady runs down the field and fist pumps. To be fair, Aaron Rodgers has been doing the discount double check for a long, long time. For some reason, the media doesn't look at that and go, well, it's not as bad as Cam Newton, which is totally bullshit, by the way. So I wanted to get into a couple points because it's not that Cam Newton changed the game for running quarterbacks. Russell Wilson's ran before. Michael Vick, years ago, ran. Michael Vick was a game changer in that way. And we're about to see another quarterback come out of college from Louisville who might win a Heisman Trophy, Lamar Jackson, do the same thing. Here's the difference with Cam Newton. So the thing about him getting hit, one of the big topics of discussion across Pro Football Talking, should the Carolina Panthers game plan more for Cam Newton to pass and stay in the pocket and be safe? Here's the problem with that game plan. That is not how Cam Newton wins football games. That's not your team playing to the strengths of your quarterback. Cam Newton is an okay passer. Last year he was doing because he's so deadly with his legs, just like Michael Vick was, just like Lamar Jackson is doing for Louisville, and just like Russell Wilson used to be, and Russell Wilson's become a better pocket passer over time. You can't just cut their legs out from underneath them. It makes them who they are. It enables them to become a better passer because the defense, as you just mentioned, is terrified. Well, if we don't have a guy spying, if we don't have a linebacker spying on Cam Newton, he's just going to take off down the middle of the field and get a first down. Yeah. And by the way, he's bigger than our middle linebacker. Yeah. He's 6'6", 260 pounds. So the big thing is, should they stop running Cam Newton because of injury? Well, here's the biggest thing that I've come to the conclusion with. And my answer is no. Don't even consider it. And it's because of how big he is, and because of how strong he is, and because of his size. Michael Vick was 6 foot, 215 pounds. And through the first 6 years of his career, he ran the ball 7.14 times per game. Then he went to jail, right? And he came back. So I'm comparing Michael Vick's first 6 seasons in the NFL compared to Cam Newton's. Cam Newton's running it, if I'm correct, and I have the number here, 7.68 times per game. He's running the same amount as Michael Vick was, right? He's taking off. Cam Newton's played in more games. Cam Newton's been healthier than Michael Vick ever was in terms of the games he played because, he's been healthier. He didn't miss half a season. So the main point here is no, you can't tell Cam Newton, hey, man, you got to cut out from 7.7 rush attempts per game to 2 because guess what? You're not good enough of a passer. You're not a great pocket passer that your team's going to survive and win 15 games like they did last year. Also, our EP mentioned a very good point. Their offensive line's not the same. So if you can't protect Cam Newton, you better hope he's going to take off and run because you're not going to find other ways to get first downs.
Yeah. What I was I don't think I stressed it as well as I thought I meant to stress it, is that this sport is so much about accountability, right? Players have their own personal battles, right? So when you have a personal battle with someone, if it's Josh Norman, if he got the opportunity to get up against Odell Beckham Jr., that's the direct error. You're like, damn, Josh Norman should have been on him better. You should have marked him a little closer. That's the accountability. What Cam Newton causes is a wide, varied outlook on accountability, right? Because when he can run the ball, what happens is, their offensive lineman, someone should be looking to try and hit him. Someone should be looking to try and get him. But if he takes down the field and he goes and dances in your end zone, what it causes is embarrassment for the team. Not for individual players who are looking to mark him. So therefore, teams get so much more frustrated. And again, that may look like just a very broad area as to why he's getting targeted. It's because people are scared of what he can do to them if he's given that ability. So they want to hit him, and they want to put him down, and they don't want to see him get back up because he's a quarterback that's 6'6". It's not as complicated as people out there are trying to make it. People are trying to hit him, and there's some dirty players out there that don't like the fact that the way he's celebrating, the way he's a quarterback that is not supposed to be doing that. This is a guy that's supposed to. Quarterback positions, again, they're changing every year. They're changing because people are just getting bigger, stronger, faster. That's the way the world's going.
Yeah,
every position in sports is changing.
Scary difference.
It's the way that's happening.
Big fuckers.
But when you have your quarterback like the best of all time, Tom Brady, who's throwing the ball, and that's one thing you have to defend, is you don't want to contemplate it as a linebacker coming into the league thinking, Jesus Christ.
What if Tom Brady could run?
What if Tom Brady could run like that? And I'm not saying Cam Newton's the best passer, but he's going to work on his passing. His passing's going to get better as he's older. So what teams are worried about right now is his power. And they think, by the way, if you think that because he's that big, that isn't coming into mind. No, these guys are thinking, just because, see all that padding that they've got on him, it adds incentive to the hit. If a guy that's very big, you're like, fuck it, I can hit him harder than anyone. I can put this guy down, and the chances of me being flagged for a dirty hit are a little bit less.
So there's two last important points, at least because again, they keep making, Bleacher Report was doing it today, they had to tell Michael Vick to stop running because there's been no safer time as a quarterback than 2016. There are targeting rules in place. There are reviews. There are fines for leading with your helmet, many different things. That didn't exist in Michael Vick's era. You could literally lower your helmet as hard as you could at any point on the field into any body part on Michael Vick, and it was fine. Besides, if you did it, you were on a segment from NFL Live called Jacked Up. So not only that, you were celebrated and rewarded for it. And two, this flak jacket and the technology that they've added over the last 10 years makes it even safer, technically, for Cam Newton to run outside the pocket, on top of the fact that he's got 45 extra pounds and 6 extra inches. So You can't take away Cam Newton's running ability. It's what makes Cam Newton great. You're cutting out his legs. Would you take away? It's the same argument we had. If you took away Klay Thompson's shot,
If he couldn't shoot, if he had no hands,
if he had no feet, he couldn't run.
take away his feet.
So no, let Cam Newton run at 7.14 times per game. Nope, that was Vic.
And as much as
7.68 times per game.
As much as it's hard, you don't want to contemplate this because you want to consider that sportsmanship's at the very top. You just mentioned it there. The guy's 6'6". Like, hitting him like you would hit most other quarterbacks might not do the trick. You might need, I'm not condoning it. It shouldn't be allowed and they should watch out for it. But people will try to hit him in a way that's going to keep him down to try and make sure that he doesn't come back out. And at the moment, while in that first game, where he was taking several hits, they weren't protecting him.
They weren't protecting him, and the refs weren't doing any
That's
justice.
what I'm saying. So they weren't protecting him. So at the moment they're succeeding because he's out for a concussion protocol.
Yeah, he might not be playing next week. Which, by the way, hey, kudos to you, NFL. You finally did your job. Comment below, like, favorite, subscribe to the channel. It goes a long way. Please subscribe to the channel. Like, please do it.
Subscribe.
Just give us a sub.
It's right here.
It's over there. It's over there.
It's everywhere.
Do you take away Cam Newton's running ability and make him become a pocket passer to protect him for future, or do you just go out and draft some better offensive linemen? At Francis_Maxwell, at JasonRuber91. We'll see you next time.